Good evening, ladies and gents. My name is Gadi, please, aka Glyzkore, and I haven't uploaded in 2 months, but that shouldn't bother you because I'm back for some reasonable amount of time. And I like to start with this What Happened That series that we started off in the Japanese Nationals, and unfortunately I wasn't able to look back at retrospectively at the US Nationals. However, I will be looking at the World Championships, which is a much more important tournament than the international championships. Well, I guess, or it's not much more important, but it's just more prestigious. It's not more important for the metagame because, as you might have been able to witness, that wasn't the correct sentence, but you know what I mean, right? You might have already heard that there is a new format coming up in like 6 days, 7 days, and yeah, I'm already very efficiently, not very efficiently, but I'm trying my hardest to capture these new Pokemon and trying to figure out new strategies around this new format, which we will talk about later in another video. But we are here to talk about the top 8 teams from the World Championships this year, and I'm really excited because there are a lot of variety. There's a lot of variety and a lot of different teams. Of course, there are always going to be common pieces on the teams, but however, I think in this year the variety was really big, especially with how each mon was played. As we can see, the common pieces on these 8 teams, as you can see here, are definitely going to be Snorlax on 4 of the 8 teams, it's Landorus on 5 of the 8 teams, and as well as Incineroar being on 5 of the 8 teams. Also Kartana making a splash and Tapu Koko making a splash. On the Mega side of the spectrum, we've got 5 different Mega Pokemon, which I think is absolutely amazing. I think we haven't had this much variety in Mega Pokemon since like 2014 when they were first introduced. Yeah, that's like at a glance reference of how these top 8 teams are built. We see a lot of offensive, or I'm looking at the Charizard team and it looks really offensive, as well as Arashomadi's 8th place team or top 8 place team looks really offensive on the spectrum. Like, it has a lot of setup, like between Tapu Fini and Volcarona, and then Tapu Bulu just screams offense, right? Although you can also play it defensively. Then the other Italian player, Roberto Porretti, has a that was a weird pronunciation, but whatever, has also a nice offensive team with Gengar good stuffs, I guess. Tomohiro Seki has also a really offensive team, but this team can also function defensively with his Cresselia and Tapu Fini, really, and also the Intimidate from Landorus, you know. Also, if you're opting to choose Kangaskhan, you probably go the more defensive route anyway, because otherwise Lopunny just outclasses it currently. And yeah, so we see a lot of offense, but also mixed with some defense, I think. Yeah, because as you can see, Yusei Matsuno, as we will later discover, he has a fantastic ability on his Gothitelle that allows him not to play defensively, but offensively. Greatly offensively. Nils Dunlop playing his offense again as well with Metagross, Tapu Koko, huge offensive threats, as well as Bellydrum, Snorlax. Yeah, Emilio Forbes, the runner-up, he opted, I think, for a more defensive option. Like, he has a Perish Trap component, which is like the basis of a defensive team, you know. It screams defense, Perish Trap, but he has also offensive abilities at his disposal, I think. Especially with Gengar having Shadow Ball and that 170 based special attacks that, you know, also having a Choice Scarf Tapu Bulu is really good offense. And then the world champion, I think he just has a really nice balance between offense and defense. Gastrodon, even though Gastrodon, as we saw in the finals, was holding that ground EMC, is definitely also able to protect the team, have a defensive component to the team by redirecting water type attacks. He has 2 Intimidates in Salamence and in Incineroar to further enhance the bulk of his mons, and like Snorlax is a really bulky mon, but can really dish out some damage as well. So we've really got some balance between offense and defense. However, let's look at the sets more in depth, and yeah. And we're back with the top 8 teams. I'm screwed up a little, you shouldn't notice it. However, there will be a cut in the audio and such. So yeah, let's look at the top 8 teams that we've got here on our other hand. Number 8 will be Arasho Madi's Metagross Volcarona team. I really like this team, and you will see why, because I think although he uses a lot of common Pokemon, he has a twist to all of them that is that makes this team unique. For example, Metagross is running Rock Slide, which isn't the most popular option on Metagross. Metagross has really cemented its set as Iron Head, Ice Punch and Stomping Tantrum. However, he decided to run Rock Slide on here, probably to counteract Charizard Y better, which I can see definitely why, because Tapu Bulu, although it has a Rock Slide on here as well, I think Tapu Bulu is kind of like an iffy answer to Charizard, and would probably like to use Wood Hammer as much as possible, especially being locked into Choice Scarf most of the time anyway. Tapu Fini does kind of beat Charizard by being a water type, however it doesn't really take solar beams all that well, and in Sun, Muddy Water doesn't really do that much damage, so you will have to set up Calm Minds. He has of course the Landorus here with a modest nature, opting for mostly special, however also running Rock Tomb and having the Assault Vest to counteract probably Charizard Wise better, also having a speed control option. But yeah, I think this is more here to A, further the defense of Volcarona, and B, counteracting Charizard Y with a single target rock type attack, so that it won't be protected by White Guard or anything like that. So yeah, I think Rock Slide really good option to shut down Charizard Y, which is quite threatening to this team, especially because the main sweeper Volcarona and Tapu Fini can't really do much damage, especially Fini being a water type and Sun in deterring the power of water type attacks, of course. Then next up he has Tapu Bulu on his team. I kind of sorted the teams, as you were able to see, to have the Metagross, the Tapus, and then the what's it called, the Ultra Beasts, then the Intimidators, and then the rest of the Pokemon. So yeah, I hope you caught up onto that. Were able to catch up on that when I showed the top 8 teams. Anyway, Tapu Bulu, Choice Scarf set, Adamant Nature, Woodhammer, Horn Leech, Rock Slide and Superpower. Quite the standard set. Now, as I said, Rock Slide probably here to counteract Charizard Y, which is kind of threatening to this team. Yeah, not much else to say about Tapu Bulu, except that he has a Landorus, and you would normally think that it would counteract the Landorus Earthquake. However, because he has no levitating Pokemon, Landorus is carrying Earth Power and Modest Nature, as we were able to see, as we saw earlier. Really nice. I mean, this is the only logical play to make, but I think it's still really nice to play a modest Landorus. Also Tapu Fini standard set, except that he runs a timid nature. I don't know how standard timid nature on a Tapu Fini is though. Like, I always run modest Tapu Fini because 95 special attack isn't the highest. However, I mean, I'm not in the top 8 of the World Championships, so yeah, what do you know? Volcarona, really nice with the Buginium Z, opting for a Bug type Z move, which I have not seen before. Of course, of course I've seen it, but I haven't seen it that much before. I really like this. However, I don't know why he as well opted for Fire Blast. It might be a mistake on the what's it called, Pokemon website. However, I think it could very well be Fire Blast, because this is just screaming out raw power, especially if he opts for the defensive Volcarona. He could very well run Fire Blast to enhance the damage output, because he's running a timid nature, not a modest nature, as well as yeah, stuff. But I think if you run Fire Blast, you might want to consider running Firenium Z, so I don't know what's the reasoning behind running Fire Blast without Firenium Z, because Fire Blast only has 85% accuracy, so yeah, I guess. But whatever, I mean he made top 8, so Fire Blast must have worked out for him. And then Persian as the fake out support, but also having black glasses and foul play to enhance the damage. Probably to knock out Metagross in one hit. I really like this. Definitely like this, and yeah. Also, this set is such a nice set. Parting Shot, Taunt, and Fake Out with the Jolly Nature. Yeah, you outspeed basically everything because it had 115 base speed. Of course, Tapu Koko outspeeds you still, but you're not really leaving Persian in if there is a Tapu Koko though. And yeah, Taunt to shut down possible Trick Room, because I don't see how he otherwise counteracts Trick Room. Parting Shot to lower the damage output or enhance its defensive, similar to an Intimidate, except that it also lowers special attack. Yeah, I think this is a really nice set and a really nice team, so I think he probably led Volcarona Persian a lot, or Tapu Fini Persian, because he could set up immediately and put out some offensive pressure. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what he led a lot, because I didn't see all of his games. However, I think he will rather report, and I will probably link that in the description if it ever gets released. So yeah, let's have a look at another top 8 team with a Charizard Y as its mega. This is really the almost cookie cutter offensive core of Charizard, Tapu Lele, Kartana, and Landorus. Yeah, and then having a Trick Room component to it. As yeah, I think this is also a really nice team. Of course, these are all nice teams. I don't know why I keep saying these are really nice teams, but yeah. I wanted to say that these 3, Landorus, Kartana, and Charizard, and Tapu Lele, or 4 actually, they cover each other's offenses so well that it's hard to really counter this without taking a lot of damage. Of course, Tyranitar, I mean, Charizard is weakened by Tyranitar, right? However, Tapu Lele hits it with Moonblast, Kartana with Sacred Sword, and Landorus with Earthquake, right? Also, he has freaking sword stance on his Landorus, you know, to further enhance the damage output. Also, if you might think, he is attacking with a lot of spread damage with Landorus and Charizard. He also has a single target option in Flamethrower here, and has a single target option in Earthquake with its Z move. So he really he's really able to circumvent the Wide Guard really well, I think. So really well executed team building, I think. Yeah, also has 2 Tailwind options here, which just to keep up the momentum and making sure that you are able to attack first. Also, having Trick Room on Cresselia, probably to counteract Trick Room on his own, and also to set up Trick Room for his Belly Drum Snorlax, which interestingly has Earthquake at its disposal. Yeah, Earthquake. I mean, he has Cresselia, Landorus and Charizard, all which are levitating or flying type, so he can really use Earthquake to his advantage, and not high horsepower, which only hits one Pokemon. And also, if you're at +6 thanks to Belly Drum, Earthquake is a really strong option, even if you aren't using stab attack, the stab to your advantage. Really interesting, I think, is that Cresselia has Psychium Z, but also has Trick Room and no Psychic offensive attack. I don't know. I mean, if you really want to get up Trick Room, I guess that's the option. That's the way to go. However, I kind of doubt this strategy because I don't know. Well, I don't know. But then again, he has Tapu Lele with Psychic, so it's for his offensive Psychic move, so he doesn't really need it. But I doubt this Psychium Z over here. But I guess it worked out for him really well. So here, he did very well with this team. Yeah. Which is, interestingly, has a Choice Scarf Tapu Lele, which we have not seen a lot of this season. Last season really was when Tapu Lele, or in the beginning of 2017, Tapu Lele really liked to run Choice Scarf. Yeah, when the format was really offensive, but then it shifted kind of into the defensive format more. So yeah, that's it for this team, I think. Really nice team, I guess, with a lot of techs, like having, for example, the Choice Scarf over here, the Ground DMC or double spread damage, but then having the single target option and the Sword Stance as well. Then here the Ally Switch and Psychium Z Trick Room, and the Earthquake over here. So let's go to, what was his name though? Oh, this is the other Italian player. I don't know what I said over here, but this is the Italian player. The other Italian player, I guess. He's running Gengar Good Stuffs. Really nice team. Sludge Bomb Shadow will Icy Wind and Protect on his Gengar. Yeah. If you look at another person's YouTube channel, he had basically exactly the same team, except that he had Taunt on Gengar and Icy Wind on Tapu Fini, and this Italian guy Roberto has these switched up. These moves: Icy Wind on Gengar and Taunt on Tapu Fini. I think that's fair enough, I guess, because I think you really want to have Taunt on most of the teams, especially if you can't really counteract what's it called? Trick Room that well. Like, of course you've got Incineroar and 2 Intimidators, and you have a Tyranitar with dark type attacks, but I mean, Tyranitar is jolly natured, probably has a lot of speed investment. Incineroar isn't single-handedly going to beat Trick Room, and yeah, so you can lead like Tapu Fini and Incineroar, fake out and taunt the Trick Room user or something like that, and go from there for the rest of the game. Prevent really trying to deny that. Or also other setup like Belly Drum, what's it called? Snorlax, which was really popular at this event, yeah, and other such things. Interestingly, which was gaining much more traction in the later stages of the season, was Waterium C Tapu Fini. Yeah, this is also because Muddy Water has 85% accuracy, but it has a high base power, like 90. So you further enhance the base power, but you get an attack that is guaranteed to hit. Also, with the uprising of Incineroar, with Tapu Fini, I think gained a lot more viability with Waterium C, trying to one-hit KO those Incineroars. Unfortunately, he is not running Calm Mind, so the Muddy Water might not be as strong as it could be, but he is running that modest nature to further enhance the special damage output. So yeah, and here Cortana, pretty standard set. I mean, he is running a jolly nature. Wait, did this guy run? Yeah, he did run a jolly nature as well. Some guy was running an adamant nature, but I forgot which one. And yeah. So yeah, here Leaf Blade, Sacred Sword, Tailwind and Protect. Another speed control option in Tailwind, and here Icy Wind, which I really like. And also Landorus with Choice Scarf, but modest natured with Stone Edge. Probably to counteract Charizard, which, although there is a Tyranitar and an Incineroar and a Tapu Fini, I think Charizard is really a threat to be reckoned with. Also other flying types, like for example, I can't think of any right now, right off the bat, but yeah, Stone Edge, really nice tech move here. Also U-turn to gain momentum and cycle those Intimidates, which might be crucial if Landorus leads against other land. Oh no, actually this not, because this one not, because he is running Hidden Power Ice. Probably specifically, well, why would you run Hidden Power Ice? It's for Landorus T. I think as Landorus T with special attacks is really also gaining a lot of more viability because of the uprising of Incineroar and Landorus being like such a common core. Like you can Hidden Power Ice the Landorus and Earth Power the Incineroar for some good damage, if not one hit KO them. Well, most of the times you probably won't one hit KO them, but or the Incineroars, but you will do some real nice damage. Incineroar has a really nice set, Flarebrats, Knockoff, U-turn and Fake Out. U-turn, I think having hit these two U-turns over here, really good to cycle those Intimidates around and gain the positioning that is crucial to winning the game. Yeah, not much else to say about Incineroar, pretty standard. And then we've got as the last one a Dragon Dance Tyranitar, really good. I know this from experience, really good. Really good late game sweeper, but also can also really dent the opponent from the beginning right off the bat. Yeah, that's all I've got to say for this team. Now here is the Japanese player Tomohiro Seki. He's running Kangaskhan, Tapu Koko, Tapu Fini, Landorus T, Cresselia and Heatran. So he's running a 2015 variant in 2018. The Chalk team, though I think Chalk is really outdated because there is no Amoonguss, there is just simply because there is no Amoonguss. And the Tapu's really, I think, although they don't really change the way the team is functioning, I think it's really a different team that needs to be reckoned with differently or dealt with differently. For example, here Kangaskhan is no more the king of the team. I think the sets or the viability of the mons is evened out a little more because Kangaskhan is no more able to just sweep through 3 teams with Power Up Punch. And yeah, he's running Return Drain Punch, Sucker Punch and Fake Out. I think Drain Punch is really interesting, but also really good because you're probably running a defensive Kangaskhan which wants to make sure it's living a long life. So, and Drain Punch just enhances the longevity of a Kangaskhan. Tapu Koko, on the other hand, is a really nice set that he is running here with a Calm Mind. Calm Mind, so you can Fake Out Calm Mind turn 1 to unsuspecting opponents and then Electrum or Gigavolt Havoc with an electric terrain boosted Thunderbolt at +1. Really nice. I think that probably you can put yourself in the first 2 turns in a really commanding position to win games right off the bat. And yeah, I think this is a really nice tech because Tapu Koko often really doesn't know what third move it's going to run if it's not Choice Specs or Life Orb. So yeah, I think Calm Mind is a really nice option here. Then here the Tapu Fini running Haze, probably to counteract like other setups, or obviously to counteract setup sweepers, but I think it's probably most of the times for Snorlax, which could pose a problem for this team. because there aren't many normal resistances. In fact, there is only Heatran, and he has only one Intimidate, which is running Superpower and Choice Band, so probably also here to counteract the Snorlax as well as possible. And Kangaskhan is not running Low Kick, which would chunk Snorlax for some huge damage, although Drain Punch is still doing decent damage against Snorlax, and he has not running Knockoff, so yeah. So Belly Drum, Snorlax, probably the main reason why you would run Haze on Tapu Fini, I think. Especially considering there are not that many other setup sweepers that I can think of right off the bat that would threaten this team heavily, so yeah. Also Waterium Seed to boost the damage of a non-call minding Tapu Fini, with a Modest Nature of course to further enhance the damage output. And then we've got the nice Adamant Landorus with Choice Band. Finally a physical Landorus though, like I haven't seen that in a long time. I almost always play against special Landorus because just Landorus and the Incineroar are so omnipresent, and the Intimidate ability just hurts Landorus so much, even though he has a 145 base stat in attack. Yeah, really nice I think to bring back that Choice Banded Landorus. Yeah, pretty standard moveset. I guess Stone Edge is kind of risky, but I don't know why he would run. Okay, I guess it's because of Wide Guard, probably. But in my opinion, Rock Tomb would do the same job, especially considering you're running a Choice Band on it. But I mean, I did not make top 8 at this tournament, because I wasn't even qualified for it. So yeah, I guess this is really nice for him. Also here we've got a Cresselia, this time with a Wiki Berry, but what I really see is here Icy Wind and Trick Room. Now based on this team, I think Trick Room is more to counteract opposing Trick Room and not to set it up on your own. I guess you could, if your opponent outspeeds, of all the opposing Pokemon outspeeds your Pokemon, I guess you could run use Trick Room to your advantage, but I think the main reason why you would run Trick Room on Cresselia on this team is to counteract Trick Room of the opponent. Yeah, and yeah, has Ally Switch, Helping Hand and Icy Wind, yeah, because as I said, I don't think you would run Trick Room on this team because you have Icy Wind on Cresselia, and if you set up Trick Room once, you kind of have to spam Ally Switch and Helping Hand with your Cresselia, because you can't really use Icy Wind, you know, because lowering your opponent's speed is counteracting your Trick Room. So yeah, really interesting option. I didn't think this would be a set that would perform this well at the tournament, but I guess it did, so who chokes on me, I guess. And then last but not least is Heatran with a Modest Nature, Heatwave, Earth Power, Nature Power and Protect. Nature Power really nice. Having two terrains making Nature Power, Moonblast or Thunderbolt, just crazy strats, man. And it's so it's just so unsuspecting that you probably fall for it game 1, have to adapt to game 2 specifically for Nature Power Heatran, but can't really do it because, you know, Heatran is just that good, and if you're able to maneuver your Heatran well, it can wreak some havoc, because as we saw in 2015, Heatran really was the cornerstone of the Chalk team at setting up substitutes or just attacking with Heat Wave through teams. Yeah, that's it for the top 8 teams. Let's have a look at the top 4 teams, starting with Yusei Matsuno's team, which I really love. I really love this team. Salamence running single attack, return, Dragon Dance Roost and Protect with an Adamant Nature. I really like this because it kind of just shows how bulky Salamence is, and that with the proper support with like Fake Out and Intimidate, and here also Intimidate I guess as its base ability with Salamence really can set up in front of basically everything that isn't an Ice type. And yeah, or a Fairy type for that matter, a Tapu Koko I guess. But yeah, I mean, Dragon Dance Roost, Protect and Return, really nice set, and Shoulda done better than top 4, I guess. But yeah, I mean, especially if you consider this mon over here, the Gothitelle with the competitive ability and not running Shadow Tag. This is such a nice idea, because everyone is expecting Shadow Tag, you know. So they lead Landorus to probably like U-turn or get an Intimidate off, or Incineroar to get an Intimidate off and knock it off later. Firstly, you're running Psychium Z to reduce the knockoff damage. Secondly, you're running Competitive to boost your special attack. And Psychium Z to make your attacks even stronger. It's just such a good strategy, I think, because it's so not expected. Yeah, I really love this idea. Then Tapu Koko here with the Electrium Z, also running Calm Mind to, similar to this guy over here, to this other Japanese guy, I think, yeah, running Calm Mind Tapu Koko. And unlike the other guy, he is running Dazzling Gleam on his Tapu Koko, which I think is really good as well. Yeah, really nice. So this team just screams tags, man, and unsuspecting strategies. Also, the unsuspecting strategies are even further enhanced in here, are just further innovated in here with the Akaberry Amoonguss. Now, of course, it's not the first Akaberry Amoonguss, but it's really a item that we hardly ever see on Amoonguss. We mostly see like the pinch berries, the regenerator berries, or regenerating berries, HP regenerating berries. But I guess with Amoonguss and Regenerator you don't really need that much, and especially if you switch a lot around in this team. I guess I could imagine you switching around a lot in this team, because if you want to cycle Intimidates, get up new fake outs and such. Yeah. Is there much more else to say? Yeah, this Incineroar really nice, assault vested with low kick. Low kick probably specifically for Incineroar, for Tyranitar and other Pokemon that could threaten, or there are dark type, probably also Bisharp, I guess, because you don't always want to use Flare Blitz. Yeah. Here we've got a really nice tech, or really special Snorlax with Choice Band and Thick Fat instead of Gluttony, making it so much better against Charizard Y, for example, or any other fire type. And with that self-destruct superpower, high power, and double edge, this Snorlax does not need to set up, it is already set up, which I really like. I really like this set. I faced it in my Lettering series once before, and I got chunked by a Choice Banded Double Edge. Yeah, you can check it out if you want to, but yeah. This team here from, what's his name, Yusei Matsuno, is so creative. I really like this team. I really would have loved to see this win. But of course we all love the guy who won, so yeah, so it isn't really that big of a deal. Now here, going to the other top 4 team, Niels Dunlop from Sweden, running the more conventional Metagross set here, Iron Head, Ice Punch and Stomping Tantrum, combined with a Tapu Koko with Electrium Z, 2 electric type attacks, Dazzling Gleam, Protect, Modest Nature, and then here the Mimikyu combined with the Snorlax, which was already feared in the 2017 metagame. Really nice set. Option here, he's got a Metagross Tapu Koko for the fast part, as well as the Choice Scarf Landorus, but he has also the slow part component in Incineroar, Mimikyu and Snorlax, or well, Mimikyu setting up the slow component of the team, not necessarily being the slow component, but yeah, setting it up. Yeah, also here we see the same 4 moves as we've seen before on a different team, I think on this team. Yeah, on Roberto Poretti's team. He's running Earth Power, Hidden Power, Ice presumably, Stone Edge and U-turn with the Modest Nature. I really like this. And here Incineroar with the standard set, Flare Blitz, Knockoff, U-turn and Fake Out, Adamant Nature. Of course, we don't know the EVs, which would be really interesting, especially on the Snorlax, which is carrying an impish nature. And knowing the moves Frustration Blade Drum, Recycle, and Protect. Yeah. There is not much else to say about this team. I think it's really conventional, this team. However, it really performs well. It really performs well. Because obviously it made top 4, but I can see how this team... I mean, it just looks well built, you know, and if most of the time, if a team looks well built, it probably also performs well. Having slow and fast components of a team is always key to a victory, I think. Now here, we've got the second place finishing team from Emilio Forbes. He is running Gengar, Tapu Bulu, Latias, Landorus, T, Incineroar, and Politoed. Having the Perish Trap component with Politoed, Gengar, Landorus, and Incineroar. I think this team is really good at having also 2 modes, a passive aggressive and a really offensive mode with Tapu Bulu and Latias having the Psychic, and also of course Landorus holding the Ground DMC Earthquake. Excuse my voice here for a short time. But yeah, I'm really glad that this team made it this far, because it really shows the performance of Perish Trap at a high level, that it really can pull through and make well at at prestigious tournaments. And innovation in Latias, like no one was using Latias, and probably now there were a lot of people using Latias on the BS doubles ladder. I could imagine, you know, because Latias is really bulky, and with a Psychium C, it just dishes out so much damage that otherwise can only probably be matched by its brother Latios, which has 130 base special attack, but I mean the longevity of Latias is really the key component of Latias, why you would run Latias. Also the Icy Wind, really nice tech here. Ice Beam to do beat Landorus, I guess. Yeah, because his Landorus is physical, so he would really like to beat other Landorus with his Latias. Of course, these 3 Pokemon here are kind of beaten by Incineroar. That's why he runs Landorus and Politoed probably to beat Incineroar. Landorus really nice. Ground DMC makes a lot of sense, although he has a Tapu Bulu. I think Ground DMC Earthquake makes a lot of sense because he's running Tapu Bulu especially, and because he has only Latias as a levitating partner. Yeah, that's I think why he's running Ground DMC Earthquake. And yeah, he could have run special, but then he would really have a lot of special type attackers, and Landorus T, really nice physical attacker of course. Also with the viability of going special, but I think this team makes a lot of sense that it has a physical Landorus despite having the Tapu Bulu on here. Also the Tapu Bulu is Choice Scarfed, so yeah. Really interesting, I don't know if that is correct, but he's running Protect on the Tapu Bulu. I guess this is simply because he has running Perish Song on his Gengar, and he might wanna switch in Tapu Bulu to reduce the Earthquake damage. Set up a Perish Song, then Protect with both of his mons, set up a substitute, switch out Tapu Bulu into Landorus or something, or Incineroar, and go from there with a lot of different options. So yeah, Choice Scarf Protect makes a lot of sense on a Perish Trap team, otherwise doesn't really. Now interestingly, Incineroar is running the Sassy Nature and does not have knockoff, because I mean, this makes also a lot of sense considering it's also a Perish Trap team, because you want to take hits as well as possible while maintaining having the option to switch out and disrupting the opponent with Fake Out. And also, I mean, yeah, Flare Blitz is a 120 base power move, so you don't really need that much investment in Flare Blitz to do damage. Yeah. That's what I've got to say about these 5. Now let's look at Politoed. Pretty standard Politoed. Yeah, main speed probably, as well as Incineroar as well, to guarantee that you are going down as the last mon in Perish Song, should it ever come down to you having to stay in with the last one with the Paris song. So yeah, really nice team. I can only congratulate Emilio Forbes for unfortunately making second, but also fortunately making second with such a nice team. And now here, Paulo Ruiz, team from Ecuador, the first Latin American world champion with such a nice team. He's also running such Salamence that we saw on the 7th place team, or 6th, 5th, 4th, yeah, on Yusei's team. Sorry for that moment here for 2 seconds. Yeah, with Return, Dragon Dance, Roost and Protect, but he is running Jolly Nature and Double Edge, kind of as a means to, I mean, like, damage output is probably the same, except that this Salamence is kind of a little bit faster than the other one. Yeah, probably made a bit of a difference in playing it, because you are faster already than other, and you have the same damage output as others. Yeah. Then Tapu Koko with the choice specs and whopping three electric type attacks and a dazzling gleam. I mean, we saw this Tapu Koko with such a set in the beginning of 2017 as well, and yeah, I mean, yeah, that's a pretty good Tapu Koko set, I would say. And here, interestingly, he has an Adamant Cortana, apparently, with Tailwind. I mean, this makes only sense because... Oh, and this shouldn't be Grass Gem, it should be Gracium Z. Yeah, because... What I wanted to say is, he probably makes sure that Tailwind goes off and he would always attack first. So he doesn't really need the speed a lot. Also, he can invest in bulk if he doesn't need that much speed. So yeah, but I guess, I mean, Adamant Cortana probably a little bit overkill, because even at Adamant Nature it's already at 221 attack. That's as much as a... That's more than a Adamant 252 Landorus is able to ever achieve. Then he has a Gastrodon with Groundium C and Storm Drain, Earth Power, Ice Beam, Recover and Protect. Does not need the Scald, because Earth Power and Ice Beam already cover all of the options that you would want to hit. Of course, the infamous Araquanid is not able to be hit super effectively by this combination. However, Araquanid is not doing any damage to you nor your teammates, because obviously Storm Drain is withdrawing or draws in water type attacks. Also, I really like that he's running Recover without the berry, because he doesn't run a berry, but also able to fit in Protect. Also, Modest Nature to enhance the damage that Groundium C Earth Power does. Really nice set. And then here the Careful Incineroar with Snatch, Snarl, really nice text over here, Fake Out and Flare Blitz. Really nice set, a little unconventional having Snatch, but I mean, why not go for it, you know? It's really nice. It's a really nice tech. It's unsuspecting. You don't expect to really snatch on Incineroar. Can snatch up Alley Drums. You can, I don't know, Tailwinds and other status moves that otherwise would change the course of the game and take advantage of them. Then here his last Pokemon, Snorlax, which has a single type attack, Frustration, Belly Drum, Recycle and Protect with an Adamant Nature, so really going for the damage over here. But I guess he probably invested a lot in defense as well, because I mean, Belly Drum +6, you don't really need much offense at that. But let's see if he ever publishes a report, and we'll see what EVs he's running. If any one of these top 8 teams really releases a report, I will put it in the description for you to really get a better grasp of this of these teams. I just wanted to get at a glance reference of what we are as non-players are able to see, and what this probably the idea behind these ideas are, or behind these mods are. I mean, I'm no pro player, I'm just a beginner or an intermediate player, I guess, but I just wanted to share my insight with you my name is Gadi, please enjoy yourselves and have a nice day. See you all next time when another big tournament happens, probably a regionals or a international, and then we will be resuming the series and looking at what happened at those events. So until then, stay tuned. My name is Gadi, as I already said. Please enjoy yourselves. Have a nice day.